Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Team Fortress TV. We're going to give you the grand final of the Fresh Meat Challenge. It's the third of these Fresh Meat Challenges, and it's going to be Auto's Academy coming up against MGE Lords. I'm Dave with Beta behind the camera, and it's Anti alongside me. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing really good, thank you. How are you?
Doing pretty well. I was kind of brought in the last minute. I'm not too familiar with these teams. Obviously, I think pretty much everyone watching is likely to know Auto. He's, Prem Medic, Prem winner on Medic twice now, I think. And, someone who's probably played more TF2 than the rest of the server combined in the last few years. He's keen as a bean, and it's good to see him coming in as a mentor to some of these less experienced players. But I'm not too familiar with these MGE Lord boys. Do you know much about them at all?
Not really too much about them. What I can tell you, though, is both teams have had about as close to a perfect tournament as you can really theoretically get. I think Auto's Academy, they've only really lost one round, and pretty much every game has been a 5-0. And MGE Lords, they're pretty close to that, actually. They've had a couple of games that have been like 3-0s, but it's pretty much been 5-0 in every game. I think they've only lost about 5 rounds in the tournament so far. So very much two clear favourite teams.
Yeah, definitely based on those results, you'd have to say they deserve to be here. And hopefully that will mean they finally, both of them, get a fairly evenly matched game. But yeah, I mean, they're being called out for sandbagging in the chat, but, are they sandbagging or are they just good? Obviously, Auto's team has the advantage of having, that Prem experience, not only in terms of, like, someone who can give them the strats and the information, but also having, someone who's won Prem as a medic and is able to then play medic in the game itself is somewhat an advantage. He's going to have better dukes and better kind of knowledge and positioning than probably anyone else in the competition. By the end of the day, you just want to see like all these players learn from the best players, get the best information they can, and having the best kind of introduction to TF2. I think that's the big thing. You just want them to have this positive kind of environment, positive experience for their first introduction to Comp TF2.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think one of the potential issues you can kind of see is maybe some of these players aren't the newest. I can't exactly say for all players. I haven't been really log stalking them at all, but I know that there's always a debate about some players sort of being experienced in either like TF2 Center or other lobbies or MG and stuff like that, how the name suggests, before they join and going up against newer players. But I'm pretty sure it's kind of a fine line. You can't really say, oh, we're banning this or, oh, we're banning this sort of player for having certain logs. But it's definitely a difficult decision for all of the Fresh Meat tournaments, if I can remember the second one correctly. They had very similar situations.
Yeah, obviously you had Nazboy in previous tournaments who had played at a ton of lobbies. He was a kind of known as a lobby lord, and then he, came, I think, first in the first tournament and second in the second tournament. I don't even know if he should really be allowed to play 2 Fresh Meat tournaments. That seems slightly questionable, but I think Nazboy is a good example of someone who perhaps wouldn't have even got into real kind of Comp TF2 without this sort of tournament. And now he's gone on to be, one of the best demos in Prem for many seasons. So he's kind of one of the kind of bright stories, I would say, for this competition from previous seasons. So definitely, I think it's a question of you just wanting, you want people to have fair games and you want people to have an opportunity to play against other new players, but you also want to get as many people involved that haven't been involved up till now, give them an incentive to play and give them as good an experience as possible.
Oh, definitely. I know quite a few players I've talked to or helped with their Fresh Meat teams recently that are planning either open or low seasons. after this, I think there's been quite a few players from the fresh meat situations and cups, and even the old ETF2L newbie mixers, if people remember them, that have gone on to do a lot of TF2. I actually was in the first Fresh Meat Cup as a callback. That was how I first experienced TF2. So I'm still pretty much as bad as I was then, but I'm still playing this game, unfortunately.
But now you have more than 10 officials, so you can't play anymore.
Yeah, that's the sad part.
Unfortunately, but I just want to give a shout out to everyone who's come in. Not only started playing in this tournament, but also been involved, as the buddy, as the mentor, and just get involved, giving time to help some of these newer players, because it can be quite daunting. It's not the easiest thing in the world to get into E2F2L. There are these nuances. There are these things that just have stuck around for many years that maybe it's not like the most sensible way we should be doing things, but at the end of the day, people aren't always the most accepting of change. We tend to just stick around. We tend to never play Fridays, Saturdays. But yeah, looks like finally we've got 12 on, and we are going to be going live with the Fresh Meat Challenge. It's Autos Academy versus MGE Lords. Take us away, Andy.
Let's see how rollouts have gone. I've seen some interesting rollouts, actually, from some of the demo men in Fresh Meat Cup. But these look like two fairly normal demo rollouts. Soldiers going up top. We love to see it. See if we're going to see any quick bombs. Actually, double bomb from the side of Autos Academy straight onto this medic. And Feasty goes down, and it's looking like a little bit of a wipe. It's just stood left. Auto does go down in the background, though. But a very solid start to the first round. Autos Academy taking the midpoint.
Yeah, very, very incredible just aggression across the point really early on. Followed up on the double bomb. Everyone got across the point. Auto committed, but luckily for the MG boys, Destroyed was able to get in, land on Auto, and find a decisive rocket to clean him up. And that means that we are basically, it was actually a bit of an advantage for Feasty. Died a little bit earlier, spawned a little bit earlier. Is going to have a slight advantage. It's going to be difficult to push out of Snakewater last with 20-30% add. But they are unfortunately stuck back on last for now.
Yeah, we're going to see a fairly basic last hold for the MG Lords. They've got their engineer up, not really electing for the heavy. I guess having the scout does allow you to build a little bit more efficiently. And we're going to get into a period of equilibrium, I guess we can call it. MG Lords not really in any situation to push out. Autos Academy probably want to look for a force before they start going in.
Yeah, they're taking control of lobby now, just getting a bit of information. Not peeking too much. They probably seen Avalon up on the sniper. He's starting to peek forward now, not getting too much space. They've opened the shutter, they've heard the sniper shoot. They're actually kind of all caught in lobby at the moment, not wanting to take any risks. Everyone's just going to evacuate under so they don't have to walk through that sniper sightline and go back outside with just the one player down.
They have got a scout pick at the moment. I'm not sure if that was a sack or just one pick, but it is going to push them a little bit out of lobby, allow Avalon to get a little bit nicer of an angle here, peeking around. Ekin, he stays on scout, so Autos Academy electing to stay on this cookie cutter lineup. The lineup we know so well in ETF2L6s.
Yeah, this might be the Fresh Meat Cup. This might be almost the lowest tier, I guess, of competitive play. But you can see how kind of informed these guys are. They've got the standard kind of Prem Snakewater defense. They've been able to get a pick onto the demo man try, so now an opportunity for Blue to push in. But Feasty is gonna get forced by a rocket, and Auto is able to milk for quite a while, eventually being forced out. But it's going to be a much longer Uber for Autos Academy. They're going to chase, they're going to catch Feasty, they're going to hunt for more as well. The tail end of the Uber coming in. Cosmin and Feasty are the two casualties. They've got a sentry gun to deal with on last, but everyone is already beacon. It's not the most amount of health on Autos Academy at the moment, but they're going to just step on point and not enough defenders there to stop them.
Yeah, it was very good milk by Auto. Not really too much pressure. He did get a little bit caught out between him and his team, but apart from that, just cookie cutter repush. I think a lot of fresh meat teams have been feeling a lot of pressure to sort of push out on a big pick such as a demo, but it's Snakewater. It's really hard to push out of last, especially at this level, so really going to bite them. So we get on to mid-fight number 2. Both teams are a lot more passive here, just focusing on trying to get some spam down between these soldiers. Demo looking to start pushing across the point, waiting for soldiers to go for their bombs, but no one really seems to be too keen on going first. It's a bit of a chicken situation here, just holding as much high ground as possible before MGE Lords strike. 2 soldiers straight onto Auto. He goes down. Joe following as well, and it's another strong mid-fight for MGE Lords. Can they keep Feisty alive? It looks like they can at the moment as Cora goes down, and it's just Ekin running all the way back to last. Definitely a mid-fight that MGE Lords really need in this game.
Yeah, definitely a change up for Auto's Academy as well. They had that early double bomb, immediate aggression, the last mid-fight. This mid-fight, they literally just stayed back. Both teams were stayed back for ages and ages and ages. No one got any kind of decisive factor until Stud decided to walk forward, decided to utilise the space, provided space for his soldiers. Double bomb comes in, and now they have an Uber to push into last.
Sentries immediately gone, trying to push Auto's Academy into the left spawn. They start getting picks actually, but rotate round right is really strong at the moment. Heavy goes down, but this soldier is buying so much time on the point, and now it's just Auto and his demo. Can they protect the round? Get 1 kill. Auto actually gets a crucial arrow, and the stickies just destroy everyone else. Yeah. This was a beautiful last push hold.
Try with the stickies, just coming in clutch, having super tanked. He was the only one alive. Auto put out some damage, got 1 cleanup kill, but it was all down to the demo man. Everyone was quite weak on MGE Lords, while they were all slightly basing each other. But the demo man could do damage to multiple targets at the same time and came in clutch.
Auto's Academy trying to push this forward. They do have 100% advantage, and MGE Lords, they really have to fear this. Starting to make their way forward, waiting for MGE Lords to make their own mistake. So far, not really, holding their ground fairly well, but I think they are going to eventually get pushed out here. Feisty has to be careful. He could get killed standing that forward, but he won't. And they actually get a pick onto the demo, which is pretty good, and they've caught up so much Uber advantage. There's only about a 20% add on the side of Auto's Academy. Surely they know this. And
so low, everyone. Auto's going to have to arrow so many people up, but it's allowing the MGE Lords to walk back in, take the space that's offered to them, and they were brave though as well. They didn't have the amount of health that they would have wanted, but saw everyone just hiding, everyone not providing spam. But unfortunately there, Feisty gets forced in a not a great situation. Had to pop very, very early. Was worried about dropping plays as he moved through the choke point, but there wasn't an immediate threat coming into him, and they've used Auto is just kiting back 60 health, but full Uber ready to go if they want to, and you can see MGE Lords haven't even been able to walk, haven't been able to take this midfight, this midpoint.
Yeah, they tried everything they could to get onto Auto, but Auto is a slippery little snake and just got out perfectly fine. They do have a soldier behind who's gonna give it his best shot. Lands 1 rocket, hits a 2nd splash, but no, Auto, you're gonna have to do better than that to get onto him today. And this full advantage, this is gonna be a strong last push. They've already got 2. This heavy does take down the demo, couldn't get flashed in time, but this is looking a lot more convincing off around here.
Oh, you say that, but Cosmin is coming in and blocking the point with the tank in the heels. Oh, it's going to be Joe getting onto Feisty, kills him. I don't think Auto's going to escape as good as he is. 80 health. No, there's no one to chase just yet. Neither of the soldiers really wants to go deep. Cosmin in now. There's a demo man though ready for him to try. He's going to find the pipe onto Cosmin, defend Auto, and he's going to be able to recycle with an advantage. And they even have picks if they want to go. They have 30 more seconds on 2 of those spawns.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a weird push there. I really thought they'd had it there, actually. But Uber Advantage still on Auto's side at the moment. They're going to try going through this left side, try and get onto this heavy. But they're doing quite a good job of actually getting all of this space at the moment. Got one kill already. They're going to try and push them in, and the pipes are perfect at the moment. So many kills, and they haven't even had to think about using Uber. It looks like they just get it so easy.
Yeah, it's brave stuff to walk in 80%, knowing that they had a couple of picks. It provided them the space to walk in. They didn't do that thing that you often see lower level teams do, where they walk in 80%, dawdle around until and take a lot of damage before the Uber comes in. They just played the fight as normal, played it as if it was a dry push, had the Uber in hand if they needed it at the end of the fight, but they didn't even need it.
On to mid-fight number 3 here. It's another one of these fairly calm mid-fights. I stand corrected. Joe straight onto Feasty. Gets the kill. Auto's Academy just pushing through point, and at the moment, Frag's definitely going their side. And MGE Lords, they've only got one player so far, and that's just a soldier. They're going to need to get onto Auto, otherwise this is just going to be straight around.
Yeah, carbon copy of that first mid-fight, other than the fact that Auto survived this time. They're just so aggressive. Auto's Academy fully into the enemy's saw, almost with pretty much the whole blob of their team. They found the stickies as well, that they were set up in saw, but the rotation through main meant they weren't an issue have to be dealt with at the end of the day, and now they have 100% to go into last, just waiting for their last soldier to come in, get a buff, and then they'll be ready to go.
Uber comes in, Sentry straight dead. Now they're going to start focusing on this heavy. Heavy standing tall on point, will be isolated and took down here. Now they can start thinking about point. Sticky's still surviving, but they're just going to go for players here. Blood in the water, and these shots are just eating everybody alive. Now they commit to point. No players down for Auto's Academy. Fairly low, but that was just clinical again.
Yeah, so many times you can see just a blob of red players just playing all together, all supporting each other, just making it very, very difficult for MGE Lords to do anything. The individual players trying to come in like a bomb from destroyed, just completely denied it a nice little air shot. And at the moment, Auto's Academy are rampant.
Moment, this game slightly getting out of hand for MGE Lords. They really need to start getting some rounds on the table if they want to start winning this game, and at the moment, this mid-fight is not going their way. Cora gets 2 kills, Scouts, and yeah, it's just a wipe again. Can't even start talking about it before everyone is just dead.
Unfortunate stuff for Avalon. He got onto Auto, got some damage down, but ran out of scattergun shots, went for the melee kill, but Auto literally just stood there like a Chad. He didn't care, he knew he had enough health, he wasn't going to die to that little sword coming out, so he lives and preserves that Uber, and now they have 100% for last once more, just waiting for the last couple of players. Buffs going on to Cora now, everyone fully buffed as they push into last.
Looks like a shutter play again. Sentry hasn't been built. They've elected for another scout, and the heavy, well, he's just gone already. Bit of a more divided fight here from Auto's Academy, but they're going to get the medic. They're going to start getting the players, and apart from the fairly clutch sticky trap, they're just going to get the point again.
It didn't get as much value as you expect with the Uber, but no one panics. They just played positions, were ready to collapse, and the FLR runs in, takes Feasty out, and that was almost a signal for just everyone to pressure forward, everyone to pressure the point, and it was just a collapse from MGE Lords. They couldn't hold on, they didn't have the health, they didn't have the heals, and now they're 0-4 down.
Early bomb in by Cosmin, trying to get behind, trying to do something different, but it just has not worked again. There is a return. They do get Joe fairly quickly, but apart from that, nothing is going well for the MGE Lords. Cora straight onto this medic, a little bit of a 1v1, and Feasty will win it, actually. So that is the one positive thing about this play. Feasty hits a very nice arrow, definitely saves his own life here.
Yeah, that's slow movement. Probably didn't expect him to duck forward under that little sight blocker, and as you say, important arrow to hit as well, and being able to juke away from the demo man who was roaming forward. But either way, they haven't been able to get the Uber. Feasty survived, but has had a large disadvantage here, and Water's able to use straight in. They've only got the one pick here onto Avalon. They're going to want to push back in. A big bomb actually in from Joe. He's going to air shot Demo Man, but end up just trading out for it. The fighting continues though. EKN running it in. Also very, very low. Feasty very, very low. Both the medics just wanting to survive. The important thing, Feasty holding onto that Uber very, very bravely, and now they'll be back to potentially move out to second here. Well, they should at least.
Also, this team kind of trying to speedrun that last round and maybe playing a little bit in third gear there, and they got punished for it, definitely.
Yeah, that was definitely the least kind of coherent kind of last push. It was definitely the most separated we'd seen them at any point, and they really paid for it. They didn't have the focus fire that they've had in the previous 4 rounds, and that was essentially why the last push didn't work.
MGE Lords walking in, Uber is used, but they've took their time for so long, and Uber just comes in from Auto's team, and this is decimation again. 3 players down on Auto's Academy, but health bars in the red for the side of MGE Lords. They will go in for this refight at the moment, straight onto Auto, but Auto just ducking and dodging 2 soldiers at the same time. This man, he's okay at medic, I guess we can say, but this fight going to the Auto's Academy after that display of movement, I guess you could say.
He definitely has okay movement, but either way, the Auto's Academy are going to be able to use those couple of picks, and the fact that Auto Survive took so much pressure onto him, kited that out, been able to move back with the picks onto the soldiers, and now they're set pretty nicely on second. They're slightly behind in the Ubers, but it's going to basically catch up to be even, and you can already see MGE Lords setting up on the last, and they're in for the long haul.
Equal Ubers again. I don't think there's really that much MGE Lords can do at this point. They're going to swap a soldier for a demo, which is a pretty decent trade actually. But 14 minutes down, looking at 4-0. Really unpositive signs. Joe goes in, tries for the big high bomb in onto Feasty, but will not get it. I think Cora tried something as well at the same time, but that sentry gun definitely doing work. Protecting Cora. Feasty there.
Yeah, Feasty had to quite slightly talk a territory, but Auto is going to try and stay in with his boys with that 2-pick disadvantage. They know the soldiers are going to come in. Ubers are traded out. It's not too bad though for the MGE Lords. There's stickies everywhere from Soot. He wants to go forward, he wants to pressure, but it's a scout right on his tail. FLR wanted to run in. The collapse has come in. Feasty has gone down. They're going to have to just make a dart for Auto. That is the important frag, but no, everyone's just running back from MGE Lords. They're going to try and set up on last with the player disadvantage, with the big Uber disadvantage. This could be all she wrote.
Auto's Academy electing to have a little bit of a look in, sort of go for the slow left side push again. Soldier jumping in, trying to put some pressure on, but not really getting anything. A lot of damage actually to the demo, but still staying alive. Auto's Academy, big Uber advantage at the moment. They can start thinking about pushing fully in, 92% at the moment. Heavy will be chunked by some excellent pipes there. Finally, Uber comes out, and yeah, this is just destruction.
Yeah, they're able to send on the point, clean it up, 5-0 win, very, very nicely played, strong play all the way through by Auto's Academy, even at the end, that last push there, they knew they had the advantage, but they're just so comfortable playing, through the enemy big door, baiting in a couple of soldiers into early aggression, kiting it out, taking the picks that were offered to them, and just winning the kind of spam exchange while all that was happening, and just a very, very nice conversion, and just beautiful stuff so far.
Yeah, definitely. We talked earlier about having a Prem medic on your team, and really it shows. This game mode, it's all about Ubers, and some of those Uber timings and those pushes around Uber were just well, as close to perfection as you can get at fresh meat. Just having that ability to know when to, slowly walk in and go for picks, or whether to just run straight away, playing on those 20% Uber advantages, just so well done to perfection that really tell who's a friend player in the server.
Yeah, you could also tell from the the MGE Lords side, they were, well coached. They knew what they were doing. They had a good setup for last. But it was just kind of when it came down to it, particularly when it came to those Uber exchanges, those messy fights, those all-in team fights. Auto's Academy just kind of had their number. They had better cohesion. They had better focus fire, especially. Particularly, on some of the last pushes in the mid fights, you could see the not so much the main cause, but the following of the main cause. I'd say at this level is a huge thing, and they were just more kind of in sync, more in tandem, less individual plays, and that was really the difference for Auto's Academy.
Yeah, looking at logs, there aren't really any underperformers that I would really say, especially not for a 5-0 game. But yeah, really in tandem. I'd say both teams showing really the upper epsilons of this tournament. Definitely can't say that MGE Lords aren't one of the best in this tournament. Definitely deserving to be in this final. It's just that extra 1 or 2%.
Yeah.
If I was on MGE Lords going into this map, would you want to see anything different, or any changes that you think could swing the edge in this game? Or do you think this is just already wrote and Auto's Academy are just going to take this one again?
Well, based on that first map, there seems to be, quite a large difference between the teams when it does get scrappy and when it does come to Uber trades and team fights. There's not really much you can do to correct that in kind of the 5 minutes between maps. Probably the biggest thing they might have to fix is on Snakewater, they couldn't deal with the aggressive mid fights whatsoever. Every time Auto's Academy went aggressive in the mid fights, went for early soldier bombs, they were just completely destructive, just absolutely crushing MG Lords. Even if MG Lords got the auto pick on I think maybe just the first one, they were kind of just getting crushed in the mid fight. So maybe they have to come up with a mid fight where they're just kind of baiting the soldiers a little bit more. Maybe they're playing a little bit more passive and them just trying to absorb the early aggression that's coming in. But yeah, process is a slightly different kind of mid fight. Is maybe a little bit easier to deal with the really high soldiers. They don't kind of get in your face quite as early. So it might play out slightly differently, but definitely the early aggression of the mid fights is something that MG Lords are going to have to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. I really liked the second round mid fight from MG Lords, where they sort of had that long stalemate of just waiting and waiting for Auto's Academy to do something. And I think they actually had, I think they won that mid, actually.
Yeah, so, they do win the second mid.
Yeah, maybe something similar to that could perhaps work on Process. As you were saying, Process very much a different map to Snakewater. A lot of high ground in the middle, just like Snake, but a lot of wide open spaces. Certainly a larger mid fight.
Yeah, it's just larger. There's more kind of a lateral movement as well. You can rotate either to the right or to the left with Snake, or you kind of just forced to either push across the point or not, either go backwards or forwards. There's kind of the full 360 degrees available to you on this mid fight. So maybe it will play out slightly differently, but yeah, I wouldn't hold too much hope there based on that first map overall.
Surely, if one team is going to take a map off Auto's Academy, it's going to be MGE Lords. Also, he's won Prem a couple of times. We can't let him win everything. I know we're supposed to be completely unbiased as casters, but maybe a little bit slightly rooting for the MGE Lords on
Well,
this one.
we want to see a third map. We want to see, if not a third map, then at least a more competitive map for sure. You know, at the end of the day, you never want. It's never a great sign when you get to a grand final. It's a steamroll. I mean, there were kind of moments where MG Lords looked like, I think particularly the first kind of 5-10 minutes where it looked slightly more even, but there was kind of inevitability. There was kind of a difference between the teams. You know, the MG Lord name suggests kind of great individual skill and great individual play, but it's going to be team play that they're going to have to showcase to come back into this.
Well, game 2, map 2, I mean, starting now, can MG Lords get, I would assume, an upset and take this to map 3, a territory that Autos Academy has never been to before? Or will this be another 5-0, 5-0? Starts off MGE Lords losing one player already. They go for the demo very early, can't quite get him, and at the moment going for the medic as well, but that's 2 unsuccessful soldier bombs, and that's just going to be mid-fight for Autos Academy.
Yeah, not only 2 unsuccessful soldier bombs, but 2 soldier bombs completely out of sync with each other. You know, the demo man went so low try. He was taken down to, must have been single-digit health by the first soldier bomb, and then the second soldier bomb, you know, got some decent success. Actually, still just be able to find a trap as they try to move into second, but they're trading so badly here just for damage that I don't know if they'll be able to take this fight, but they're going to go for the Uber anyway.
Uber is used on the side of MGE Lords, trying to get that early force onto Auto, but no, he'll wait and wait until the last moment. Not really getting that much, to be honest, in this counter Uber. MGE Lords doing very well to catch it, considering how far deep they are, but Autos Academy are going to take this one player advantage and start walking into this right side. Try blocking off this right spawn at the moment, trying to get in, but they've decided better off it. They've got a soldier up in panic at the moment who's trying his best to get something, which, no, but they use this counter aggression to just walk straight on point, and they are definitely getting punished with it. It's a little bit of inconsistence with the side of Autos Academy, not really deciding what to do for this push, and the MGE Lords coming out on top with this one.
You can see what they wanted to do. They had Cora in the panic room. They wanted to utilise that distraction to get forward, get aggression on point. And oh, nice little pipe. Tries able to find his demo counterpart. And they do get the force out, but Try is going to have to go down for Autos out of these. They actually kind of dropped a bunch of players. Not the best scenario, dropping the demo, but he's been able to hold on to the Uber for enough that his scouts are able to come in to it. Ekin and FLR are able to clean up everything, and what looked like a new play from Auto ended up being a mastermind play. They've turned it around now. Auto's Academy are looking to push last with these 3 picks.
He's definitely thinking 4 parallel universes ahead of all of us here. They are going to be a little bit delayed because of this second point needing to be recaptured, and respawns have started to trickle in for the side of blue. So possibly Autos Academy having to walk out of this one. Yeah, they decide to still get that soldier high up in that panic room. Not really working for them again, but big Uber advantage on the side of Autos Academy. So when the soldier does respawn, you can expect to see a push very soon.
Yeah, smart play, no risks taken. They knew they still had the advantage, so they being kind of luck, but now they can use the Uber in. They're in through 1. They don't really hit too many shots though, actually, the Pocket Scout. I think it was FLR. Then finally, though, the collapse is going to come in. They're going to take out Stud with the help of the demo man. Cosmin is going to have to do a lot of work here. Avalon's weak as well, and Arrow is able to take out Cosmin. Avalon goes down to FLR. There's just too many red players. Destroyed is on 8 health to defend against 2 buffed opponents, and that's going to be Autos Academy taking the first round.
Actually, a 4-kill streak on the crossbow there, I think, which is kind of an insane stat for Auto there, but a bit more convincing of a hold for MGE Lords than we've seen in the past in this game. But it was a slow one from Autos Academy. They tried, and This mid-fight, again, not going too well. Two soldiers very instantly down with nothing to show for it.
Yeah, almost a carbon copy of the first mid, just both soldiers bombing in, not going to the same targets, not syncing up their rockets, getting tons of damage down onto Try, but not able to follow up. Even chip shots across the point would have been enough. That both the soldiers this time were in tandem, rolling out, spamming rockets at the same time, but stood the demo man is taken out. There's not really too many players to play with Feasty. Feasty's got out of here at the end of the day and actually doesn't have too much of an uber disadvantage. He's just going to build up the last little bit, but already Water's going to be looking to pressure in.
Soldier trying to get onto Auto, bringing him down to 80 HP, but no, Auto stands tall. They've got 2 picks already, but they actually get forced here. Both teams using Uber from completely different sources, and Auto's Academy thinking about going in here. They are going to commit, and the forward...
Oh, Cora.
The soldier, it works, finally.
They've been going for it every time, but this time they forgot about the soldier in panic. Cora stood up top, fired down rockets onto the spawn door, just found an absolute mulch of the enemy gamers, and there we go, 2-0.
This soldier bomb's not working for MGE Lords on mid. They're going to go for it again, actually. 2 rockets onto the demo, he's gone. Definitely a lot more success in this mid, but what can they do with this demo pick? Well, not really that much at the moment. Auto's Academy running in here, Cora bombing in, trying to get something, but that actually just gets his own death. And in the end, it's a 3 for 2 here, actually. But MGE Lords, they haven't got the mid fight again.
Well, they're not adapting their strategy, but at least they're adapting their execution. This time, the soldiers are more in sync. They're able to get the demo man down, but Joe and Ikian are running in, but they're not even able to find targets. Joe was just spinning around in the air with nowhere to shoot at. Eventually gets peppered down by scouts. And it's just a 2-man sack. It's not a terrible scenario at the end of the day. Try's going to find a player on entrance as well. It's just going to find a second destroy. Just Try single-handedly holding this defense for his team. Auto's able to milk for an absolute age. He's going to want to flash a scout to this Uber, but they're going to pop out so much later. VC is going to get caught once more, eventually cleaned up by Try. Cosmin is just trying to find some position, find some kind of angle before, or just as the Uber fades, but he's just going to get out of there. Set up for last setup for the defense, because Auto once more has 30% ad.
Oh, what a play from Try. You can see why the soldiers go for him every mid when he can just shut down a play like this. Starting to walk in. No Ubers on either team, actually. But these soldiers up top, they're going to get 1 pick, and they've got a lot of height at the moment. Joe, at the moment, trying to do Cora's job as the soldier in this panic room, but at the moment, everything is fairly equal. Soldier's doing a decent amount of damage, but Auto's Academy, they just can't get anywhere near the point. Joe's going to be mulched by the heavy, and surely Auto's Academy have to back out now. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I think they waited around just a little bit too long there. The spawners were eventually going to come in for Feasty and Feasty and his boys, and
Uber on the side of Auto's Academy, so now they can definitely think about doing anything. They don't really seem to realize that MGE Lords don't quite have yet. Auto expecting it to be equal. Never mind. They look like they want to go in again. Lost considerable Uber advantage at the moment, but get an instant pick. Cora up. Panic room again, but no, you won't fool them 20 times in a row, my friend. And you will be took down, but they get the force somehow.
oh, it's going to be chasing FLI. He's running in, he's just barreling into a bunch of players. Joe comes in at the tail end of that. That's a great little flank from here. They thought they'd turn it around. They thought FLI had run out of scattergun shots, but they weren't ready for the Joe bomb, who just cleans everyone up. And a 3rd round knife Auto's Academy.
So I can't actually remember.
Either way, next mid-fight, here we go, MGE Lords. Standing tall, not going for the double soldier bomb for basically the first time. Just gonna wait and wait and wait. They're seeing a soldier there, he can get destroyed. He's gonna find one rocket onto him. He's gonna eat a rocket down, but nice little arrow out from Feasty. It's gonna keep him alive. Stood is aggressive across the point, doesn't have too much support from his team. But this time they just kind of play passive with the soldiers. Don't bomb too early, just look for an opportunity to push it forward, do put some spam out, and they magically take the mid-fight.
That's a lot better from the MGE Lords. In that mid, now they can look at pushing second. They go for the sack, but Destroyed, he's not going to get anything here. Just a single soldier. Perhaps we're going to see one of Auto's Academy going for the reversal sack here. They're actually threatening the flank quite heavily at the moment, but no, not quite getting anything there. Not really liking what they see. So Auto's Academy, they're just going to stand tall. Goran takes considerable amount of damage, but he's standing by a pack, he'll be fine.
Flowers able to walk in and bait some players forward, but that's a nice little denial onto Korra, who's trying to jump in from the sewer and take it out before they could get too much down to VC. He did eat one rocket, it seems, but it's not going to be followed up on, not going to be enough. Big bombing now coming from Destroyed, but he is denied once more. But Cosmin's got in quite deep. Oh, and Auto milks. That was very, very risky. But comes in important times. Uber's out for MGE Lords, but it is a disaster.
This is a straight wipe. I think one of the problems MGE Lords are having, they get to these situations where they have maybe equal or slight advantage over Auto's Academy, and then they just throw everything about getting these ads onto Auto, and they just get so hard punished from them.
Yeah,
Go on.
Cosmin was going in for Auto again there, wasn't able to really even find the target onto him, wasn't able to size him up, besides exactly where he was playing. So it's going to settle down for now. Auto is coming up to 100%. They're just taking control lobby and ready for a last push.
Avalon on the sniper just sees Auto's toes, but can't quite hit the shot there. Auto's team, they've just used their Ruber. They've got two players already. Ekken on the big flank at the moment, trying to get something. But now he'll get took down. This is actually a fairly decent hold from the side of MGE Lords. Auto's team, they're just walking into this scout, but finally took down here. At the moment, you have a little bit of Dolce-Joy gameplay, but no one can stop Auto's Academy, from what it seems like.
Yeah, didn't even really have much to go off there. Just played like chads. They just walked forward with the big people. Weren't even really loaded. They hadn't even done significant amount of damage, but standing forward with the buffs on the point was enough. 4-0 now as we go to the next mid-fight. Anti.
One soldier in, trying to make this play work again, a little bit out of desperation. Destroyed, he gets one really nice rocket, but can't follow it up. They even send their demo in, gets Joe, but stood not quite getting onto Auto. The medic definitely in a different league at the moment. But Auto's Academy, they've claimed mid-fight again. They're going to want to get onto Feasty here. Got soldiers in his face. They do get him. But they waste two players on him, though. But Destroyed, getting perhaps his namesake.
My god, FLR has just got 4 super quick kills there. He's hit absolutely everything in the last 30 seconds. Something like 12 consecutive scattergun shots getting those 4 kills. Avalon's up on the sniper. It's going to at least force the Uber out of Auto. They're going to chase everyone back into spawn. Not too much cap time, but Feasty is caught in an awkward situation. We'll have to see whether Auto wants to commit or not. A lot of combat classes available for MGE Lords. They've taken a while to kill Korra though. Korra's buying a lot of time. Eventually is cleaned up. A bomb coming in from Joe. Auto is going to stay in, gonna chat it out, gonna put heals onto his medic. And can they clean him up? He's gonna run out of there and probably even retain a bit of advantage here.
Joe going for the hero play, the 3 versus 2. Can't quite make it. Lands a beautiful rocket onto one of the scouts, though. But definitely a nice try. And because Auto stayed alive, it's going to be advantage to him. They're going to be able to do something like this again. Yeah, not much hope for the side of MGE Lords. They've had some pretty good last defenses so far. But Auto's Academy, they've been so strong. They've been given so many opportunities. Every time they lose a last push, it seems like they'll be back pushing last in another 30 seconds. And here they go again. Uber's in. Feisty nowhere near Uber of his own. They're going to take down Cosmin straight away, trying to pressure out this soldier and this medic. But no, Feisty still staying alive. Is Uber getting very close? But both scouts on the point. They're going to get took out, and it's just destroyed left. And no, it's 5-0. Auto's Academy taking this final.
Yeah,
Same
stuff. Just try there at the end, just playing position very, very nicely, sneaking up the point, allowing, opponents, teammates to run towards it, to battle over it, just had stickies ready, able to just nuke anyone who dropped down onto the point, and it was enough. It looked ropey there for a second, and then that final last push, but overall it went, as the rest of this tie has gone, decisively for Auto's Academy. 5-0, 5-0, both maps. Impressive stuff from them.
Yeah, definitely. I think Auto's team, they've been playing against low teams. I don't know if they've played against any mid teams, but they've been beating those low teams as well. So definitely a high ask for MGE Lords to get to that sort of level. Really shows how well a team full of newbies can get into competitive with some of the right mentors.
Yeah, and we can have a look at some logs. I don't think they're going to be any more kind of telling than sort of the last map, where it's pretty one-sided, pretty fast 5-0. Not, and I think only the single mid-fight victory for MGE Lords. So tough stuff going against them. I have to say, standout players for me for the Auto team especially were, I think, FLR, the scout, and Try the Demo. FLR having 400 DPM. He actually had the same KD as his scout partner, but just way more damage, just really utilising the heal beam and, not only defending Auto, but also getting aggressive at the right times, seeing the opportunities, following up on the damage of the rest of his team. And, every time it looked like the combo was slightly under pressure, it was either him, either he would be there to turn it around, or Try would hit some crazy pipe. And, just that kind of combo play, particularly backed up by having Auto on Medic, was a huge factor, I think.
Definitely. I think soldiers as well, as me being a little bit of a soldier player, I really like their ability to maybe not just like go for the medic, but going into those positions that can really start turning the MGE Lords around and putting them into uncomfortable positions where they're forced to maybe shoot 2 or 3 different angles. Really nice movement and positioning from them as well.
Yeah, and for the side of MGE Lords, you have to say they've had a great tournament. Hopefully, it's been an enjoyable experience overall for them. Won all the games up till now. That have just really been on a tear. This was obviously a step too far. You can see, this Auto's Academy team was a different level. You look at the gameplay individually, you wouldn't have put it down as a fresh meet cup kind of team. You wouldn't even probably be saying it's an open or a low div team. They look very, very competent, and they have some very solid skill as well, I think, in the team. So no shame for MGE Lords for how they performed today. I think they were just kind of outmatched by a better team, and hope to see a lot of these players in the future to hopefully, for the next cast at least, will give a better account of themselves.
Yeah. I think maybe every player on this server has shown a really high level of competency. I'd say, obviously, Auto's team as a unit definitely performing better, but I think even the MGE Lord players, if you put them on against some low players, maybe even looking at some mid players, they wouldn't really look that out of place. So definite sort of high setup for whenever the next season of ETF2L, there's going to be abundance of talent coming into the pool.
Yeah, the new ETF2L season is coming up in, I think, a few weeks now. So, yeah, make sure you're following the channel here, Team Fortress TV, for that next
Are we
weekend.
sure Try isn't Nasboy just fake nicking to get his third, win?
Yeah, try fake Nick Nasboy, maybe. But next weekend we're gonna have a cup coming in. It's gonna be a map test cup, so you're gonna have to find some maps. I don't think I have it quite in front of me. Do you know what the maps are, Antti?
I do not. No.
Well, I don't either, so you'll have to find
Sunbase
out.
and something else. Entropy, I think.
Sunbase and Entropy. Okay, so that'll be interesting to see how that goes. I believe I'll probably be casting there. I don't know if Beta will be on that weekend as well. But either way, make sure you check out that next weekend. Anything else from you, Antti?
Nothing from me.
Any shouts from you, Beta?
Shout out to everyone that played in this Fresh Meat Cup, and especially shout out to all the buddies that showed all these newbies the ropes. You guys are way more important than you think. You're the future of TF2, so thank you.
And I'm going to give a shout out to everyone who was watching, and hopefully we'll see you again next weekend. Good night.
Bye.